Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we began exploring the moon, in which we met the Watcher, who was the jailer meant to contain and maintain the prison of Zodiark here on the moon, which was created by Hydaelyn. But with the brands destroyed, or most of the brands destroyed, the souls that comprised Zodiark were beginning to leak out and hinder the efforts to restore the seals. So we had to go and try and dispel them. And in that process, we bumped into none other than Hythlodaeus, or at least his soul anyway. And had a little chat with him, but unfortunately, that chat got cut short because Xenos and Fandaniel arrived, and unfortunately we were a little too slow in getting to them, and they were able to break the final brand and release Zodiark, who now possesses no core or heart because we destroyed Elidibus. And so Fandaniel was able to, through the process of essentially killing himself, release his soul to integrate with Zodiark and take over. And seems much to the chagrin of Xenos, because Xenos had intended to take over Zodiark, because it seems like that's what the plan was, but Fandaniel pulled a fast one on him. And that kind of forced us to have to fight the fused Xenos and Fandaniel and Zodiark. But that is exactly what Fandaniel wanted, because it weakened Zodiark enough that Fandaniel was able to destroy himself and Zodiark. Which, because Zodiark was the only thing maintaining the laws of nature that were preventing the final days from happening, that now allows the final days to return. So we are in a bit of trouble with that. So we don't need to figure out what to do. So we need to talk to the Watcher here and see what the plan is going to be. And now that Xenos' plans have been thrown into the, been thrown out the window, he's kind of, gone off sulking that, he didn't get what he wanted, but, who cares? And, yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. And, just to mention, that this whole sequence was very interesting because it aligned with a lot of predictions and ideas I had for this expansion. I don't remember if I laid them out all in detail in the one predictions video I did, but I did think that the way we would end up fighting Fandaniel was either he was going to create or summon something or merge with something for us to, fight him, because he's a sundered Ascian, right? We've destroyed the unsundered, right? We've fought Emet-Selch, we fought Elidibus. There's no way that Fandaniel directly by himself would be able to challenge us. So I figured the only way for him to actually challenge us would be to merge with something, or for him to summon something, or merge with Zodiark, for example. Though I didn't think this was going to be the first trial in the expansion. I thought the first trial was going to be Xenos, actually. And I also thought that the plan that Fandaniel would have would be that he would engineer a situation in which us winning, us defeating either him or Xenos, would initiate what he wanted. Because I figured that that's the only real way to make that work. Because, you know, we're an unstoppable juggernaut of destruction. You know, there's almost nothing that they could throw in front of us that we couldn't beat. So the only way to really cause us trouble is if you engineer a situation where us winning a battle actually does what you want to do as the antagonist. So very clever that with the plan with the story. So interesting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get to it. And let's talk to the Watcher and see what we're gonna do. I sense his presence on the moon no longer. Okay, yeah, so Xenos has noped off somewhere. If you need not follow, then I beg you stay and listen to what I have to tell you of Zodiark and the end of all things. Certainly. The Watcher would discuss grave matters with you. Before we speak at length, I believe a change of surrounds is in order. I have more than ill tidings to share, you see. I sensed others arriving not long ago. Though my communions with Hydaelyn have grown infrequent, I have learned enough from her to know these are your comrades. And as luck would have it, they have already reached my abode. Come, let us join them. Okay, let's head over. And unfortunately, I can't fly yet, so we'll just have to go on the ground then. Ah, it's still a thankred in Eorzea. Pillar of industry, merchant and mender. Really? Interesting. Just this slab here. Okay. All right, thankred. Dare I ask what happened before we arrived? Long story. Eorzea, may we presume this being is a native of the moon? In a manner of speaking. Yes, they are indeed the three I sensed. Okay, good. Alright, Stola. Thank goodness you are unharmed. We did what we could to subdue the temper before making our way here. Without casualties, unfortunately. Some few detonated explosives, killing themselves and others. The Contingency healers had their hands full tending to the injured and enthralled when we took our leave. Lest you wonder, Mistress Kryl hath also been delivered unto their care. Serving as a conduit for Hydaelyn's power has taken its toll, but she will recover in due course. As for Alphino and Alice, they insisted on remaining in Garlemald while we three rushed to your aid. It appears, however, that matters here have already come to a conclusion. Yeah, you might say that. But what manner of conclusion, if I might ask? And is this the ally whom Hydaelyn bade you seek out? He is not unlike the shades of Amarat. Not unlike, perhaps, but not the same. I was created by Hydaelyn, together with this place. It has ever been my duty to keep vigil over Zodiark, or rather, it was my duty. Yep, we'll give him the rundown. And Zodiac is no more? Indeed. And not without consequence, I'm afraid. For now, the delicate weave of the star, preserved by his presence, will begin to unravel. If you mean to avert the final days, you shall have need of... Oh. Are you alright? My attempts to forestall Zodiac's release have all but exhausted my strength. If you might allow me to rest a short while, I will share with you all I can. Please do. You need not exert yourself on our account. These crystals contain records of your time here, yes? May we peruse them while we wait? By all means. If you would review them chronologically, might I suggest beginning with those on the upper floor? I shall leave that to you, Ayame, while I see what can be gleaned from the crystals on these lower levels. Alright, so we're gonna just take a break over there. Alright, fine. And one other thing, as I was going to say, one other thing is that, yeah, once Van Daniel was able to gain control of Zodiac, he had won. Because if we won, he wins. If he had actually won the battle and we had lost, he also wins, because then he's in control of Zodiac and he can then wreak all manner of havoc that he wants before, well, destroying himself. So, yeah. No matter the results, he would have gotten what he wanted. Alright, so let's see what the dimly glowing crystal has to say. As you gaze into the crystal, ancient knowledge of Zodiac flows through your mind. Daily summary, no abnormalities detected. Daily summary, no abnormalities detected. Daily summary, no abnormalities detected. These appear to be records of a long, lonely vigil on the moon dating back to the beginning of Zodiac's imprisonment. Which is like a dozen millennia. Another faintly glowing crystal. As you gaze into the crystal, knowledge of past calamities flows through your mind. The records describe how, with each rejoining, Zodiac's thirst for freedom grew, as did the strain on the brands. Maintaining Zodiac's imprisonment appears to tax Hydaelyn greatly. Warmly glowing crystal. As you gaze into the crystal, knowledge of the past rejoinings flows to your mind. The records describe the Watcher's efforts to prepare in the event Zodiac broke free from his prison. The records go on to describe maintenance carried out regularly with the Loporrits, though it's not clear who or what they are. And a brightly glowing crystal. As you gaze into the crystal, a record of an unexpected visitor flows through your mind. The records note the Watcher's musings when Elidibus is spotted on the moon, though clearly not for the first time. It is clear he and his brethren have a keen interest in freeing Zodiac from his prison, and yet they have made no attempt to destroy the brands. Perhaps they prefer he remain hidden from mortal eyes until the final rejoining. Perhaps they realize we would never dare bring harm to Zodiac so long as he remains imprisoned. Right, they're going to wait till he was complete, and then release him. And then sacrifice the remaining life on the planet to have him, to give him the power needed to restore the souls that were sacrificed to make him. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. Alright, Stola. Or is there anybody else we can chat with? I didn't see anybody. But we'll talk to Y'shtola. You learn anything of import? I mean, not much. So it is as we suspected. Maintaining the brands requires a great deal of her energy and focus, and this cost has grown higher with every rejoining. That would explain why contact with her has become rather infrequent since the 7th Umbral Calamity. I too made a rather startling discovery. This heavenly body we know to be the moon was in fact created by Hydaelyn. Yes, that's what the Watcher told us. When the Watcher said he was created together with this place, I thought he meant this facility. Truly, Hydaelyn's powers are far beyond anything I could have imagined. I thank you for affording me this short reprieve.
It is we who should thank you. The records stored here are nothing short of extraordinary. There is much we could learn of Zodiac and his imprisonment, but perhaps you could offer us more focused guidance. Pray, tell us of the calamity that came before and comes now again.
Long ago, before the Great Sundering, there was but a single world, Etheris. One day, from within the earth, a terrible cry issued forth, affecting a profound change in all manner of life. We were not exempt. Our creation magics ran rampant, giving shape and form to thoughts of hopelessness and despair. At first, the phenomenon was limited to a single region, but quickly, so very quickly, it spread and engulfed the whole of the star.
Were the ancients ever able to deduce its source?
No. They were not. However, the convocation struck upon a method to predict where the next corruption would manifest. The etheric energies which flow through all creation in the form of various currents. The currents which course through the land and seas. Those which flow through the very air. and those of a celestial nature which encompass both our star and this moon.
Celestial currents. I cannot say I am familiar with the concept.
Nor would I expect you to be. Few scholars of our time knew of their existence. Their invaluable knowledge helped us to better understand the nature of the calamity. Like the terrestrial ones of earth and air, the celestial currents form a vast network, but the ethereal distribution is not consistent. The Convocation soon realized that the inciting incidents occurred in regions where the flow was weakest. Correlation without clear cause, ultimately. Nevertheless, on closer study, a stagnancy of ether was observed in nearby currents.
And so they sought a means to harness the forces of darkness, of activity and growth. Thus was Zodiac conceived. No less a power than a god's could set right the laws of nature and quicken the flow of ether within the star.
Precisely. With the advent of Zodiac, our end was averted.
Emmett Selk claimed that those who summoned Hydaelyn did so because they saw Zodiac's power as a threat. Is that true?
Indeed, there was a faction opposed to Zodiac's creation, but their aim was never to unmake him. They understood the continued preservation of the natural order was dependent on his very existence. Until we could identify and address the underlying cause of the final days, he would need remain, for his departure would set in motion those apocalyptic forces once more. Hydaelyn recognized this as well, and so, rather than destroy, she sundered Zodiac, herself, and the star into lesser reflections, that she might confine him in this place. I could have sworn she beseeched me to banish the darkness. Perhaps she did. But as with all beings, intent is not always in accord with the spoken word. Hydaelyn and Zodiac are both constructs of man, approximations of perfection limited by our own imperfections. Zodiac was, without question, the more powerful of the two, having been born from the sacrifice of half Eorzea population. Thus, it was necessary for Hydaelyn to commit herself wholly to his defeat. Still more effort was needed to confine him. Maintaining the brands taxed her greatly. With what power she dared spare, she cried out to any who might listen and offered her blessing to those who heeded her call. Though it was likely within her power to do so, I believe she did not wish to speak of Eorzea and her history. Like Zodiac, Hydaelyn's purpose is a reflection of her creators. They wished to look to the future and not linger in a prison of the past.
The Ascians set in motion 7 rejoinings before we came to oppose them. How many more worlds would have been lost had we not placed our faith in her?
Well, if there's 13 reflections and there were 7 rejoinings, then 6.
How many more souls living in the present would have been snuffed out for the sake of those long dead?
Now that's a bigger question.
Well, in light of recent events, I see no reason to doubt your words.
Well, actually, 5, because the 13th is a useless void.
And even if Hydaelyn is not a god in truth, if Minfilia believed that we should trust in her plans, then I choose to do just that. Which brings me to a rather important question. Let's suppose we try but fail to stop this second coming of the final days. Should the source fall, what will become of the other worlds?
Thinking about Reen? The nomenclature is more fitting than you know. Bring ruin to the source, and its reflections will share in its fate. Oh. Ah. It is ready. This way, if you would be so kind. A beautiful sight, is it not?
Yes, but what is it?
Hydaelyn knew better than any that her power was not absolute. Indeed, she has ever struggled to hold Zodiac and his faithful at bay. He feared the worst, and so made preparations. In the event of his demise, there would be a contingency. This moon is a vessel. Oh. You need not go far to find its pilots. In fact, I should be happy to take you to them. I don't know why that one disappeared. And fulfill my final duty as a watcher in the dark. Yes, the moon is a starship. And lifeboat. Alright, well that was a lot. Alright, Y'shtola, what do you have to say? It may be true, but others will struggle to believe it. I can scarcely believe it myself. Ingrid? The moon is a ship? Well, now I've heard everything. Eorzea? I should very much like to hear more of this extraordinary story. Alright, Watcher. The time has come for you to be on your way. The crater at the heart of Mare Lamentorum, where Zodiac was imprisoned, is not so easily traversed, however. Let us call upon Argos, the familiar whom you met earlier. He should have no trouble bearing you across. As Hyland created me as the jailer, so too did she create Argos as the guard. It is his nature to appear when needed, and yet he is nowhere to be found. Strange. Mayhap the imbalancing of ether has affected him. Let us make for the crushing brand and attempt to call upon him there. You need but recall the path you walked with Argos before, and you will find your way. If he labors in service to Hyland's plan, I see no reason not to do as he suggests. Shall we make for this crushing brand, then? And, you suckers are gonna use the stairs. I'm not. Alright, well, got a bit of a walk ahead. So, where was that? There it is. I'll probably do is go ahead and pause here, and I'll be back once we're in the area. Alright, there is our goal. Let's chat with the, everyone. Naught could prepare me for the boundless beauty of Aetheris shining shimmering amidst the sea of stars. A blue sapphire, but one of countless other jewels brimming with life, no doubt. Similar view to what we had when we first got here. I don't know if you can see it, but that would be Thavner right there in Eorzea over there. Y'shtola? So close and yet so far. Does not the harsh terrain remind you of somewhere we've been before? The Dravanian Forelands, aye. A place that rejects intrusion of outsiders, where solitude reigns supreme. At the very least, it sounds suitable for Zodiac's prison. And Thancred? A little preparation, it might be possible to traverse the gap on foot. Then again, it would be a long, long way down if one should slip. perhaps another time. Okay. And the Watcher. The place we seek is just ahead at the Chloropos Grot. You see, Argos cannot manifest without sufficient concentrations of ambient ether. You would be hard-pressed to find a greater confluence inside this cavern. Follow me. Alright, will I be able to slip past the Weeper? Nope. Another Weeper. Yeah. Well, they don't aggro by sight, that's for sure. Alright, got it. Let's see what the crew has to say. The guard of Zodiac's prison, eh? Blood red eyes, slavering maw, and built like a behemoth, I'd imagine. Let's hope he's friendly. Not exactly, Thancred. This entire cave is thrumming with ambient ether. Alas, any further analysis will have to wait. Eorzea? Curious, this place doth call to mind Pla Ene, home of the Numo. A little bit. Giant fungus and whatnot. Yes, here we do nicely. The lunar spongoi draw ether from the ground, which is then dispersed in the air. At present, however, the ambient energies are not quite sufficient for Argos to manifest. Might you be willing to spare some of your own to help the spongoi along? Alright. There he is. Argos manifests in a flash. He seems glad to see you again. A most fascinating creation of Heidelin's, would you not agree? Should the need arise, he is even able to create reflections of himself on a whim. Though, I assure you, it was no reflection which accompanied you earlier to the brand. No, Argos was quite eager to be at your side then, as he is now, it seems. I cannot recall when last he showed such an affinity for anyone. Indeed, I thought him more likely to shy away from you and your companions. Perhaps it was more than a sense of duty that compelled him to aid you before. As for your companions... Ah, there we go. Unexpected, but greatly appreciated. I believe we are all ready. Then let us return outside that you may cross the chasm. Alright. And in this instance, we're just going to run past them. they probably could have done before, but whatever. Alright. Dola. Delaman has long been described as the loyal hound of Menfina due to its relation to the Greater Moon. It seems highly improbable, if not impossible, for ancient peoples to have known of Argos, but now I wonder whether there is some connection. To whom wouldst Hydaelyn entrust the command of so grand a vessel, I wonder? I was expecting something a little more intimidating, less man's best friend. Oh? Your destination is a structure there across the Cradle of Darkness. But climb onto Argos' back and he will take care of the rest. Once you arrive, it should not take long to find the ship's crew. The facility is designed to rouse them from their slumber in the event of Zodiark's destruction. Heed their counsel. Together, you may guide the star and his people to a kinder fate. This is where we part ways, but know that I shall ever be watching and praying for your success. Alright, Stola. Our allies' assurances notwithstanding, we cannot be certain of what awaits us on the other side, so perhaps it would be best if we did not all go at once. I propose the two of us cross first, whilst Thancred and Eorzea wait here. Alright, let's go. Onward. A malefic ether yet permeates the crater, remnants of Zodiark, most like. This structure is enormous, though that is hardly surprising given the size of the average Amaratine. Still big even for them. Apologies for the wait. Right then, let us head inside and... Oh? Most intriguing. A means by which he conserveth energy, mayhap? Well, I certainly wouldn't want him to blink out of existence on our account, helpful as he's been. Yep, thank you, Argos. We'll take things from here. If Argos is to remain without, let us not keep him waiting over long. And here we are. Inside the mysterious facility in the moon. And a big old aetheryte down there. Eorzea. Truly a marvel beyond description. And Y'shtola. Its scale is reminiscent of Amrat, or rather the replica we visited on the first. Right. But I think this is where we're going to actually end the episode, because we're going to figure out who the pilots are next episode. All right, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.